Yo, what up, Native Raider here, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you my masterclass for Season of the Deep. This is probably the most versatile build I've done yet. It is Void, it is PvE centric, it is Titan, it is survivability, it is ad clear, it is boss damage. Whatever you want to do, you can do it with this build. So without further ado, let's get it.
Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.
Alright, jumping into the subclass. First up, for your super, it is honestly dependent on what you're doing. Bubble's always nice to have, Ward of Dawn, but you can also use Sentinel Shield in certain activities and certain, encounters. And then for abilities, we got Rally Barricade, definitely the way to go for this one. Movement ability, I always like Strafe Lift, up to you on that one. I like Shield Throw for this one, and you'll see why later. And then Vortex Grenade is always strong. And then for aspects, we got Offensive Bulwark, where when you have an Overshield or you're in your Ward of Dawn, your grenades come back quicker and you have increased melee damage and range, and if you get a kill with your melee, it does extend the duration of your overshield. Plus, when you're in Sentinel Shield, you also gain a second shield throw. And then in the other aspect, we have Bastion, and this one is when you put down your barricade, you are going to grant overshield to yourself and to your allies. Very beneficial, especially in some endgame stuff here. And then for aspects, we got Echo of Undermining, and this one makes your Void Grenades weaken targets, which is very nice. It does have that unfortunate -20 discipline, but that's fine. Try to buff into discipline, all good. Next fragment we got is Echo of Remnants. Your lingering grenade effects, i.e. your Vortex Grenade, your Void Wall, your Void Spike, your Axiom Bolt, they have increased duration. And then we have Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with your grenades grants volatile rounds to your Void weapons. And then finally we have Echo of Persistence, where your Void buffs applied to you, Invisibility, Overshield, and Devour have increased duration, -10 in resilience. Alright, jumping on into the weapons here. In this top kinetic slot, we are running our exotic in this one, and this is Wither Horde. If you, for some reason, have never heard of this or don't know what it does, real quickly, it's called Primal's Torment, and projectiles fired by this weapon blight that target and nearby area on impact. So basically you shoot it, it will like consume inside of them, and then it will leave a pool that continuously damages for the enemy that you shot if it's not already dead, and also any other enemies running into it. And then next up in the energy slot, I got Positive Outlook, which is a Void auto rifle. This is a precision frame auto rifle. This one has Repulsor Brace, where defeating a Void debuff target grants overshield. Very nice. If you get your hands on one of these, definitely keep it, because just that alone right there is awesome. On top of it, I got Surplus, I got Accurized rounds, I got Hammer Forged rifling with a handling masterwork, and then through minor spec on it, you can put on whatever you so choose depending on your playstyle and what kind of encounter you're facing. And then finally in the heavy slot, we got Retrofit Escapade. This is a crafted one here, and I got enhanced target lock, as well as an enhanced 4 times a charm. I also got extended mag and chambered compensator, and then of course put on that boss spec or that major spec depending on your encounter again. Alright guys, so onto the armor, and this is pretty important here. Like, please pay attention to these ones, because this is how everything just kind of synergizes and works with the weapons that we selected, and as well as the subclasses, fragments, and aspects that we have on there. So starting off with this headpiece, first up we got Harmonic Siphon, Rapid Void Final Blows, create an Orb of Power. That's one of the 3 ways we're going to be creating orbs of power. And then we have Heavy Ammo Finder ×2, increases the drop chance of heavy ammo on kill. And then we move on to our gauntlets, and the first one we got here is Firepower. Your grenade final blows create orbs of power. There's a second way for orbs of power, and then heavy-handed, your melee final blows create orbs of power. Third way. So 3 different ways outside of actually using our super. We're going to be creating orbs of power, which is very important, and you'll see soon. And then on that last little slot there, we got Harmonic Dexterity, where we can swap weapons faster between our Void weapons. And then into the chest piece, this is where we are using our exotic here with Actium War Rig. If you don't know what this one does, it has a intrinsic perk called Auto Loading Link, and it steadily reloads your equipped auto rifles and machine guns. If that didn't make sense to you, basically, while you're firing, this thing's going to keep feeding ammo constantly into your magazine without you having to reload. So basically, you barely ever have to reload with this build. It's super amazing. And then for the mods on this chest piece, we have triple harmonic reserves, and this increases the amount of ammo you can carry for void weapons. So our mag is not going to get bigger, which is cool, not a big deal, right? Because it's constantly feeding it from Actium War Rig, but our reserves is bigger and bigger. And this gives us like just a huge amount of reserves for our Retrofit Escapade. Moving on to the leg armor, we're going to have a triple void weapon surge. Your void weapons gain a small bonus to damage while you have an armor charge. Your armor charge now decays over time, so we're increasing the damage. We have a crazy amount of ammo. It's constantly feeding it. I mean, retrofit just goes in with these perks slotted. And then finally, for the Titan Mark, we have Bomber, reduces our grenade cooldown when using our class ability. We have Special Finisher, where it consumes 3 stacks of armor charge, but the finisher will generate special ammo for you and your fire team. And then finally, Time Dilation, your decaying armor charge has a longer duration. Alright guys, so if you are watching this in the future and it's not Season of the Deep, I apologize, you can go ahead and skip this part of it, but this is for you still playing in Season of the Deep. As far as the artifact goes, there is 6 different things that you want to equip just to make this even a little bit more robust, more powerful. It is not needed, but it does make this build just that much stronger. Starting with the first column here, we want to have on that anti-barrier auto rifle so we can deal with those barrier champs if they come around. And yeah, it's always nice to deal with those assholes, right? In the second column, we got authorized mods void and also authorized mods melee. That just reduces the cost of our armor mods for both melee and void mods. And then into the third slot, we get into some survivability here because it's called Onto the Breach. Defeating a void debuff target creates a void breach while your void subclass is equipped, which feeds into the protective breach in the fourth column. Picking up a void breach gives you an overshield or refreshes your existing overshield. Now, there is so many ways for us to get overshield here. We got our shield throw, right, which is our melee that we currently have equipped with this build. We have this, the protective breach, so we pick up a void breach, we get overshield. We put down our rally barricade, we get overshield thanks to the aspect, right? And then we also have it with positive outlook, and I mean that's the repulsor brace where we kill debuff targets and it grants us overshield. So there's so many ways for us to be protected. And then finally in the fifth column, you want to go ahead and equip Supernova. Picking up a void breach causes your next source of void damage to create a large weakening pulse. Okay, as far as stat prioritization, of course, our main thing is going to be resilience. Get that as high as possible. Don't go over 100. There's no point for it. And then you want recovery, and you also want your discipline as well as your strength stats to boost that recharge time on your grenades and your melee. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Those are the 4 you want to focus on, and I would do it in that order. Yeah, so that's pretty much the build. Let's do a quick recap, if you will. We have survivability, correct? We already went over that. How many different ways are we getting overshield? Insane amounts. We have Active War Rig that is buffing both our positive outlook and our retrofit escapade, so it's constant damage out there. We have Wither Horde to deal with some of those, a little bit more tough guys or some of those, hordes of enemies. We have our shield throw that is a nice like ranged melee that we can deal damage with. It's not a lot, but it does ricochet, it does give you overshield, it does have that protection. Vortex Grenade is also very nice. Throw it right there at the boss, get them weakened with our artifact, and then start laying waste with your retrofit, especially on those bosses. We also have the Void Weapon Surges that are just dealing increased amount of damage. I mean, you guys can see how this all kind of flows together, right? If you can, please let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys learned something or even just enjoyed watching this gameplay in the background or whatever it may be, consider liking this and also consider subbing to my channel. Don't forget the notification bell so you don't miss the next opportunity of when I post another build or another Destiny 2 related content. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next one.